Almost playoff time. You know what that means. What are we doing in the playoffs sometimes after select postseason games?
Oh, we're doing recaps, aren't we?
Post-game shows. Yeah. We did some watch parties last year, which got interesting depending on who the guests were. Maybe we'll do one or two of those. We'll see. But post-game shows for sure after big games. We'll definitely do it after the World Series. And depending on the schedule, we'll let everyone know when we'll pop back on live after big games throughout the postseason. So look forward to that. And, of course, we're still going to be on 1 to 3 Eastern live every day during the season, off season, the whole deal. I'll start mixing in some more fan questions that we've gotten on YouTube, Instagram, etc. here at the top before we dive into a lot today, plus 3 player guests. Fan question from Kevin on Instagram. Do pitchers facing batters with chances at breaking records think, please, not off of me, or are they good with it because they will be part of history?
Depends on who they are. Nobody wants a record, though, against them.
You don't want to be that guy in the
Usually, no. You don't want to be Al Downing, right? Wasn't that Al Downing? What was the name? The guy who gave up the home run to Hank Aaron?
Was it Al Downing? I don't know.
I think it was. Yeah, nobody wants to be that guy. Everyone remembers him. What was it? Tim Burdack, the guy who gave up the home run to Barry? Wasn't that his name?
No.
What was it? It was the lefty guy.
Yeah, he got sent down to the bushes soon after that, and I hit a homer. So I was like, me and Barry. It wasn't Burdack. It was a lefty with the Nats.
Well, anyway. Maybe they're more of a footnote than we think then. Maybe they're not a total trivia question. Like who
in the moment you don't want to.
Right, but who gave up the homer to Aaron Judge a couple years ago?
That I know.
That wasn't a no? I mean, it should have been a big homer.
But that wasn't
in recent memory. Who was it?
I thought it was Tim Meza. Either gave up the tying one. Yeah. Dustin McGowan, we were in AAA, and Mike Hessman was going for the minor league career home run record. And Mike Hessman got out in the 8th inning or something, and we were in the clubhouse, and McGowan goes, thank goodness he's not going to hit it against us. That would be embarrassing. Obviously, they tied the game. Mike Hessman came up with the bases loaded, and guess who was pitching? Dustin McGowan gave up the homer.
So he jinxed himself.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Tinoco gave up the home run to Judge, right?
Yeah.
And it was Mike Backstick. Mike Backstick. Bacsik. They gave up Barry Bonds 756. And Chan Ho Park gave up 71.
So do you think they were like, damn, I got to step up my game because I don't want to be that guy?
No, I just think
facing your former team or whatever. No, was it that kind of rush or no?
No. I don't think that. Listen, I was there where they were like, all right, we don't want to have this happen against us, and then it just happens. Like I was there when Greg Maddux got his 300th win. I was his last hitter he faced. I got a hit. They took him out of the game. Yeah. I think we had the base loaded and no outs and didn't score. I'm like, how do we not score here? We had we were down a run and we didn't send the guy when I got a hit. I was like, what are we doing? It ended up being his 300th win. So there are times where you don't want to be that, but at the end of the day, it's still also kind of cool to see when history happens.
I will say this, when Judge was going through that home run chase 2 years ago, I did feel like there was a 2-3 week period where they didn't pitch to him much.
Yeah.
And I felt like a couple guys said, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be on the list here. So
they said didn't throw at him.
Well, they did the other day.
We'll
get to that later.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, let's charge the damn mound first.
He's charging the mound.
Man, the Royals had some momentum in that game yesterday with Detroit. Bobby Witt Jr. was doing one of his MVP games, but the Tigers still won.
Yeah, but it might be. Listen, I'm happy for the Tigers, but again, they're 3 out. I know it's only 2 in the loss, but they're still 3 out with 11 games to go. That's a lot to make up. Listen, the Twins can't win any games right now. I mean, if you watch Klaus, the way they lost let's talk about the way the Twins lost their game last night.
First a cute highlight or two.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, cool. Bobby Witt is awesome. He's grand slam. He's trying to stay alive in the MVP race. Judge has struggled a little bit here, so maybe he might creep back into it, but I don't think he will. But but the Tigers came back from down big, but the Twins were up 3-0 in that first inning and lost 4-3. So the Twins are helping him out. If the Twins just win some games here and there, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
This would be a non-story a while ago. This would have been done a while ago. That's the whole thing. The Twins are 9-18 since August 18th. And shout out to Matt Vierling, by the way. He's had a really underrated year.
How far, what are they since I want to know what they are since the trade deadline.
The Twins?
Yeah.
It's not
when
great.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The one guy they got, they DFA'd like 2 weeks later.
They don't have depth. Their stars keep getting hurt. They're back now, but they barely played together. And this little nugget from Aaron Gleeman, our friend who works for The Athletic, covers the Twins. He said, Pablo Lopez, last 6 starts, 1.11 ERA. Rest of pitching staff, 5.75. It's Pablo Lopez day, and then you're like, oh, crap.
It's a bad feeling. That's what I was going to say. That was the game they were supposed to win. That was the Pablo Lopez, it's your game. You're still facing the Guardians, the best team in your division, but that was the game. Now they're up against it. Now the Tigers, who came back and won that game against another division opponent, they get to throw Scooble. So you're sitting there like, oh, great. Well, Tigers are going to win. They're throwing Scooble. 3 games is so many games to make up. So many. There's 12 left. 3 is tough. But, boy, the Twins are letting them back in it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Lopez pitched good. 6 1/3, 2 earnings.
Yeah.
I mean, Lopez is a stud right now. He's back. Like when you watch him, he was up and down this year. He wasn't consistently great. We had him in the
second half. He's been nails.
He's back. He's the prime Pablo Lopez.
I mean, his ERA is 3.8. It wasn't that long ago. It was in the 5s.
Yeah.
So it's back. He's not having a great year, but when they've needed him to step up, he's stepped up.
In a playoff series, you don't want to face him.
No, but you go up 3-0 and you have Pablo Lopez and he leaves the game in the 7th. You're up 3-2. You got to lock that game down. Mm-hmm. And you know what? And you knock Matthew Boyd out in the 3rd inning. You got to win that game for the Twins.
Did you see Griffin Jacks? I don't think that was a bad pitch. It was like up and in fastball.
Yeah, but Manzardo went.
He was on it.
And then he pimped it, which was awesome too.
Yeah, 2-run homer. That was the go-ahead homer, and then obviously Clase. And that was a cool matchup. I mean, just to see Clase. I know Royce Lewis is kind of running out of steam.
Dude, he mowed through those dudes. Did you see the at-bat to Correa? 3-0, and he went heater, 100, heater, and then he was a couple foul balls, and he was like 101, punchy. And then he dominated Royce Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, good morning, good afternoon, see you later, bro. Game over.
And then the pitch, I think the strikeout pitch, it dropped. I remember it was 100, but was it a cutter?
He throws like those 100-mile-an-hour cutter balls.
Yeah, geez, he is ridiculous. One other note from the Royals game, because I just read this before the show started. So in The Athletic, they mentioned how Garrett Hampson was on third base, right, for Bobby Witt Jr., who had a fly ball to right field. They said it was 227 feet. That's kind of a question mark for a third base coach to send the runner. Hampson's super fast, though, but it's still like not a 50-50 ball, but Matt Vierling, they said, has like average arm strength. They said 2 innings earlier, Vance Wilson was booted from that game, right? He got into it with third base ump David Rackley. So he said the call at third base was, I'm not going to say this name correctly, Jose Alguacil, who was filling in for Wilson. He didn't send him. They're like,
send him.
That one. Yeah, but that's
send everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Right, Kratzy? Send everybody. You know how hard it is to throw a ball 227 feet and get him out? I mean, even if it's right at you, and I mean, you got to come in. How many times in your career did a guy throw a guy out of the plate on a sac fly? It very rarely happens. Throwing a guy to the plate is one of the hardest things in the world to do.
And do you know Garrett Hampson's sprint speed?
Yeah, he flies.
99th percentile.
Yeah,
he's
that's
a
a
top 5 player speed-wise.
Wave him home, Wendell Kim.
It's not on him. I'm not sitting there at a sac fly. Wait, hey, should I go? Should I stop? No, that is on Garrett Hampson. That is not at all on Jose. Nobody can hang Jose out to dry. I've never waited for a third base coach to tell me to tag or not to tag.
That's not true, because there were third base coaches who would say yes or no. And I would listen to him.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, of course, because if he tells you no, or fake or there was plenty of times where I was told.
Kratz
I wasn't
was
fast
too good for his third base coach.
What's that?
Kratz was too good for his third base
apparently.
But did it change? Did you ever disagree with them? Yes, you would hear them say it.
No, of course you never disagree, but there were times where you're like, man, I maybe could have made that because the guy makes a bad throw and you're like, I should have went. But you didn't know he was going to make a terrible throw.
If you people want to know what tagging up on a sac fly, like how easy it is in the big leagues. I'm not saying for everybody. I'm saying in the big leagues. Ty Wigginton hit a line drive to Ryan Braun coming in on the ball. Anytime you have to move right or left or coming in at a different angle, like it's hard to make the adjustment to turn back and throw it home. I scored, and I was not 99th percentile. Just made a good throw, Matt. Really, you got to tip your cap sometimes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, well, here we are. 2 games. Really 3. I get it with the season series, but we might actually have a playoff spot decided by a tiebreaker. That could happen in Mets-Braves on the other side, too. No more game 163.
Mm-hmm.
You okay with that?
Yeah. No. But you're going to have to be.
Yeah.
Can we go ahead and give the Guardians the Central now, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
5-game lead with.
Oh, yes.
5-game lead with what? 11 to play?
No doubt. Guardians definitely have the Central.
Okay. What about the Yankees? Can we give them the East 3-game lead with 11 to go?
Technically, no, because they're still playing the Orioles for 3.
Yeah.
So there is a lane. There's no lane with 5 games back and whatever you just said, 11 to go in the Central.
Okay.
So, Kratz, tell me your thoughts on the Cleveland Guardians, who are basically wrapping up the division right now while we just readjust a little graininess for 5 seconds.
The Guardians are, I forget what their magic number is, but you can sit there and watch this team and question how they win. Not dissimilar to the Brewers over in the Central of the National League, but you sit there and you go, Matthew Boyd, who's not going to give you 9 innings. He's not even going to give you 7. If you sit there and you go, all right, how does this team win? They win by a home run by Manzardo after you see Griffin Jacks for a 2nd inning. They win because Stephen Vogt is putting his guys in situations where they can succeed. He's not overexposing guys. He's not letting too many left-on-left situations go by the wayside. He's not like – you also have an MVP candidate if it wasn't for the historic years that the top 3 guys are having, but you're talking about another top 5 finish for Jose Ramirez. He could be a 40-40 guy. That's why the Cleveland Guardians are winning. Does it stand up? Does no starting pitching stand up in the postseason? We'll see.
Yeah, and you know what else we'll see? If the Guardians are in your top 5 power rankings. We're trying to make that more of a thing, so we're going to do it heading into the playoffs. See if the FT fam is into it, and then maybe we'll roll it out throughout next season.
Remember, I played for the Guardians. Remember,
So,
I'm just a homer, so I just choose teams that are just in my that I.
No, you would choose the Guardians because you think you and Stephen Vogt are friends.
So Guardians, Brewers, Phillies have to be in there. That has to be 3 of his 5. Guardians, Brewers, Phillies, 3.
Oh, of course.
Oh, and Yankees.
That's probably 1, 2, 3. Yankees.
So we already know 4 out of Kratz's 5.
Oh, no doubt. And Astros. He played for them too.
But wait, there's the Phillies too. He loves the Phillies.
That's what I'm saying. Phillies.
Did I say
is that your lock? Is that your lock? Why don't you just make it a parlay? Make it a lock. Let's see where I'm at.
No, it's not my lock. It's not my lock. Because
okay.
I do think.
No, but I got a pretty idea. It's going to be
Phillies,
Astros because he won $2,000 for tripping over the carpet that time.
Yeah.
Brewers, he loves them. He obviously thinks him and Stephen Vogt are friends, even though he can't get him to come on the show.
He did come on the show.
Huh?
We joined the show.
Stephen Vogt?
Yeah.
When?
He's never been on?
Mm-mm. Even though every time he sees me, he's like, tell Kratz to stop texting me. I don't know why.
Epic.
It's true. He told me to stop texting him.
Yeah, he was on. He was on when he got hired. What are you guys talking about?
I wasn't on that day.
Right, you weren't. But Kratz, you don't remember?
As a manager?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You guys are making me think I'm freaking crazy. I'm like,
don't look at me. I wasn't on that day. I can't control that.
You got a pass, but he doesn't. He was on.
I was there. That's right.
We've got the factual evidence. If you type in Stephen Vogt in YouTube right now, December 1st, there's an interview with him. Also, Kerry Carpenter, by the way, was on.
Same day?
Last year. No, last August, and he's coming on. So apparently we're going to talk to him in a couple minutes about this Tigers ball club right now. So we'll keep the conversation going. Take a little quickie break, get set up with Kerry Carpenter in the green room right now, and we'll talk to him. We still have to also talk to Michael Kopech and Christian Walker, some of you that sent in guest requests over the last couple of weeks through the podcast reviews. Your wishes are being answered today. What's up, FT fam? New sponsor alert. I'm drinking it on the set today. Support for Foul Territory is brought to you by Huel, the world's #1 complete nutrition brand with over 400 million meals sold worldwide. Yeah, 400. They are trusted by millions of people looking to fuel their days. And for me, I've got this guy up here. I'll get one for you tomorrow if you want. I'm putting some.
I have some down, but they're chilling.
They're chilling right now?
They're chilling.
They're nice when they're cold. They're nice. So this is the Huel Black Edition, nutritionally complete, ready-to-drink meal. It is quite nice. I will be drinking it throughout the show today. And you also get 15% off at Huel.com when you use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L. Kratz, I know you have been indulging a bit as well. There are also protein bars, but this is a personal favorite right here. If you're more of a powder person, go for it. There's obviously plenty of options there too.
I'm heading right over to practice after the show. I already got one chilling in the fridge, as AJ said. Like, it's super easy and delicioso too.
Yeah, and great thing about the Black Edition here is 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, all in one handy bottle. So if you're like, damn, having problems getting some food together real quick, and I got to go pick up the kids from practice or go from job to job, whatever you're doing, great alternative right here. So make sure you check it out. And you get 15% off with the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com. Very affordable. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat nutritionally complete meals in minutes. Use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com for 15% off. And we will post the link in the description of this episode. Welcome to the FT fam, Huel. Here we go. Kerry Carpenter from the Detroit Tigers joining us back on FT. It's been a minute. I love the smile on your face too. Is that we're in a playoff race smile, but we got to kind of keep rolling like this? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, the smile is kind of always there, but the being in the hunt helps.
I heard from, some people around the team that, when you were MIA, missing for a little bit of time during the season, things were a little bit down. So now it's actually making a little more sense. I know you were smiling last time you were with us, but what did it mean to you when you were out, and how do you feel like things have changed? Obviously, I know you're probably like, oh, I don't want to toot my own horn, but you were missed is what I'm saying.
No, it's an honor to be thought of like that. And so it was tough being out. I was on a roll before I got hurt, and then obviously I had a stress fracture in my back, and so I was out for a while. And it's not fun sitting there and just like watching the team play. You obviously want to be a part of it. But yeah, so being back has just been amazing, and it's been a blessing, and being a part of this run that we're having is pretty special.
Did you guys know and talk about that you could make a run like this?
Yeah, we're aware, and yeah, so it's kind of been the talk of the clubhouse is is winning, and so it's kind of nice when that's the talk of the clubhouse and being in September and having a chance at this.
Does AJ Hinch say anything to you guys about this, or has he just kind of said, hey, we'll see how this goes, or just keep playing, guys? And every night do you watch the TV and be like, man, the Twins lost that way again? They're trying to give this junk to us.
I don't know if AJ's mentioned it to us as a team or anything, but I think everybody's aware of what we're doing, and yeah, we check the score. It's that time of year, and us being in it, yeah, we're aware of what's going on, and we're just trying to go out there and win the game that we're in. So,
hey, take me through the trade deadline because the team wasn't in a spot like it was now. So, you tell me, did the team feel like it was fair to sell some assets away? And then was there any kind of vibe or talk during that time period like, who cares? Let's still go shock the world. We were missing some guys that are back now.
yeah, I think that the decision making is definitely above my pay grade, and we're confident with the guys that we have. I think that there's guys that have come up in the last couple of years and had success right away, and I think that it kind of set the bar for the guys that ended up coming up now, like Jahan and Trey Sweeney and Herter and Madden and all these guys that are kind of just like didn't skip a beat when they got to the big leagues. I think that we have a lot of confidence in what they were doing in AAA and what they can do up here. So it wasn't like it wasn't a give up type of situation at all. So it was we were confident in those guys.
Are they ignorantly smart? Are they like what they don't know can't hurt them? Like you've been in the big leagues now for a minute compared to those guys. Are they just like, oh, wow, this is neat. We get Chick-fil-A on the plane? Oh, man, let's go out and beat the Dodgers. Because it doesn't matter. The Dodgers, they just play baseball.
Right. I think there's definitely a spirit of having nothing to lose. And I think that's kind of one of the things that we do really well is that we don't feel any pressure. We feel like we have nothing to lose, and that goes out there, and everybody's free to go play their best. And so there's something to that, I think, and I hope that we can keep that, like we don't want to play with pressure. We just want to play free, and when we play free, we win. So it's been fun.
Speaking of free, those walls behind you, are those green walls? What color are your hotel room walls?
I don't know. They're yeah, I guess they have a greenish hue, but yeah.
Because normally, you go to hotel rooms and they're like an off-white. Now my shirt is green,
Yeah,
but not like
Right.
that color green. So I'm just
Yeah,
wondering
these
if
walls aren't that dark, but yeah, same type of thing.
okay,
It's
okay,
like accent walls or something.
yeah,
They
yeah,
call it.
exactly. You don't normally walk into a hotel room unless you're like in Miami and there's green walls. Like, oh wait, Kratz has green walls too. Never mind. Sorry.
Right.
Not in Kansas City.
Oh, not in Kansas City.
No.
All right, Kerry. So Tarek Skubal is one of the best pitchers. He should be the front runner for the Cy Young. He's pitching tomorrow for you guys.
Mhm.
When he takes them out, are you just thinking like, all right, we got a W, and the bullpen's like, oh, we're just going to take the first 7 off while Tarek goes out and punches out about 12?
Yeah, I think both of those things are true. I always feel like we're gonna win when Scooble's on the mound, and man, our bullpen, they love when the starters go deep, and our bullpen is nasty. So it doesn't matter if our starters go 3 innings or 8 innings. We feel confident in those guys, but yeah, I think this time of year they can definitely use the rest, and yeah, Scooble is just, man, he's fun to watch.
Normally we ask like for teammates of guys who are going to win an award or up for the award, like convince us. You don't need to convince us. Scuba's going to win the Cy Young. We get that.
He's done the convincing.
Who's the second best pitcher that you faced this year, or who do you think should be? Because we're really only talking about that. Like, who's nasty that you're sitting there like, whoa, this guy, I'm glad we have Tarek, but this guy could, never pitch against us again if I liked it.
There's a couple guys that we faced Lugo last night. He's tough. He throws every pitch in every count. He throws everything where he wants to. He's been tough on me at least. And the other guy that has really I've only faced him one time and I'm 0 for 3 with a hat trick off of him. is Brian Wu. I'm totally cool with not being in his division.
He strikes out everybody. He throws like that.
He does.
He doesn't throw like overly
Ooh.
hard either. It's weird. He throws it like 94 and it just has the vert
Oh
that
my
no one can
gosh.
get on top of. It's unbelievable. I think
Yeah,
he's
yeah, I was
tonight for the
struggling
Mariners
hard.
too.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Kerry, we all have those guys, okay? So when
Yeah.
you're in spring training, you're in Lakeland, you're over there at the Tiger Town, you're staying in the dorms where the Flying Tigers stay, you know?
Uh-huh.
You get to the park that day, it's spring training, it's like the first week of spring, and pitchers are doing live BP. And AJ Hinch has the groups, and you see Scooble. Are you ducking him, or are you going to Hinch and saying, no, bro, put me in there, I want to break a bat and look like a fool while he's doing his BP stuff?
I've never faced Scooble, so and I haven't gone out of my way to try to face him either. So if it happens next spring training, I'll gladly take that challenge. But yeah, I'm not necessarily going out of my way to go face him because I think his approach off of me might be like his hardest sinker up and in, and then start a slider right off of it. So I don't. We'll see when the time gets there, but yeah, I haven't faced him yet.
Avoid it. No man needs to destroy his confidence that early in spring training. Like you got to get that.
Right.
You got to build on that off-season confidence. You look like you're super. You know, you said you smile all the time. Who's talking the most trash in there? Like who's talking teammate wise? Who's talking the most trash and is like, yeah, I'd strike you out, Kerry, or I want to face who's the guy that's like, I'll take Scooble.
Oh, I don't know. I think I think Will Vest is pretty confident in himself and his stuff. So I think and he's definitely like more in your face, especially in the clubhouse. He's loud and confident, so he might be one to challenge me. And I don't know about any of our hitters. I don't know if any of them have said like, "Hey, yeah, I want my chance off of Scooble. I think I could clip him." But I haven't heard anybody say that at least.
All right, Kerry, this is what I want to see next spring. You might not get in a bat off Scooble, but I want your guy Teacher Man to get in a bat off anybody and just show us, you know, since every time I go on Twitter and he's on there, he's like, I got Aaron Judge and Kerry Carpenter, and they do this snap thing. So I want to see Teacher Man get a bat and have Scooble run 97 up and in and see what he can snap on.
Oh man, I think you might have to take that up with him, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen his Twitter, but yeah, I think I don't think he would want that at bat. He's good at teaching the swing, but I don't think he wants to face all these guys that we're facing right now. He's past
Okay,
his
so
prime.
what does he teach you? Because you know everyone there's love and hate for every hitting guy on Twitter, right? On social media, everyone's like, "Oh, I got it figured out," and I got it figured out. You don't know, and we've had Jeff Fry on here, and we've had other guys come on, and they've argued before on here about this and that. So, what is it that specifically that he tells you? And obviously, it's worked for you. It's worked for Aaron Judge. So, what is it when he comes in? He says, "All right, this is the one thing you have to do."
So it's for me, it's the launch quickness that he talks about, and it gets me able to be ready so early that I can be ready when the pitcher releases the ball when I'm right, and I can hold it for the fastball and I can hold it for the off speed. So that's what has led to a lot of my success is that I don't when it's right, when it's not always right, but it's right a good amount of the time. I don't have to cheat to pitches. So I can be on the fastball. And when I'm up that early, it lets me see the ball really well. So I feel like I can pick up the off speed really well and I can adjust to it. That's kind of been the biggest thing is being ready early, not having to cheat to pitches, and being able to adjust to off speed has kind of been the three things that have really clicked for me.
Love that. All right. We got 3 quick hitter questions for you. You ready? You're kind of like being on the hot seat a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
All right. What was your welcome to the big leagues moment?
Welcome to the big leagues moment. I think my welcome to the big leagues moment was probably my first 2 days, and I went 0 for 8 with 2 hat tricks in a row, and I was like, okay, this is tough, and it wasn't necessarily because the guys were better than me. It was I was probably a little sped up, but it was like, oh man, I gotta figure this out pretty quickly, or else who knows how long I'm gonna be here. But yeah, so that was a pretty welcoming first 2 days.
Take it from me. You're going to get sent down if you do that. Yeah, that's not a good first 2 games. What's your favorite musical artist?
Favorite musical artist? Probably Caleb Gordon. He's a Christian rapper from Orlando.
Love that. Love that. All right.
Of course he is.
Do you know him?
Yeah, he's from Ocoee. So.
Of course he is.
Uh-huh.
I'm surprised
Florida.
I don't know him.
Orlando.
I'm gonna have to have him come through for the show.
Caleb Gordon. I'm gonna have to hit that up. I'm more an NF guy, but that's fine.
I like NF too. Yeah.
And I met Andy Mineo. Andy Mineo and Trip Lee were at the conference that we were at. But anyway, what athlete would you want to swap jerseys with?
That's a good one. I might have to go with Aaron Judge, because he's like one of the guys that I look up to in the game, the way he hits, but the way he carries himself. Yeah, that's a jersey I'd love to swap with, and just to like kind of talk to him after a game and just like hang out with him a little bit. But that jersey for sure. That's 1-1 for me.
Don't you guys have the teacher man thing where you guys can meet up in the winter for a conference or something, and you just can't say, "Hey, Aaron, can I get one of them 99s or what?"
Yeah, we've hit together every once in a while, and we have the same agency. So
Well,
I think I do have one of his. Yeah, I think we can make that happen, and yeah, so.
He just didn't want Kerry's jersey. Possible. He just didn't want Kerry's jersey, so it's not a swap. It's just a collectible.
And I can't blame him. I'm not quite at his level yet.
Okay, understood. All right, so I have 2 quick questions for you, and they're kind of quick. You went to Virginia Tech, correct? After St. John's. Well, our producer Claudia called it Virginia Polytech. Is there a difference in the two, or is it the same thing?
I think that's the very politically correct way to say it is Virginia Polytechnic Institute, VPI.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. I don't know anybody who's actually called it that. It's Virginia Tech.
Ain't nobody ever called it that in their life. I promise you.
Right.
There ain't nobody ever called it that. And then second of all, you have you from Eustis, and then you have Riley Green from Oviedo. Which one of y'all is from the more podunk place outside of Orlando? Eustis or Oviedo?
I mean, at least UCF is in Oviedo. Eustis
That's a good point.
Have much. Eustis doesn't have much. You go a little bit north of where my mom's house is, and you're out in the country, so you're out in the Ocala National Forest pretty quickly. So I would say Eustis takes the cake.
Okay, good point. But if you take away, because now listen, I grew up in Orlando. When UCF and where Riley Green is from, Oviedo, there used to be nothing out there. It used to be like Eustis, and then all of a sudden UCF become gigantic. Because you were like, because I live on the other side of town, so we'd be like, we got to go out to UCF. We're like, man, we are going so far. It's like if we had to go to Eustis from where I live, you're like, gosh, I better pack me a lunch and a dinner because I might never make back.
Yeah, seriously. I didn't know Oviedo used to be like that. I've only grown up with it being like UCF, and UCF is huge.
UCF is gigantic now, so yes, I agree.
Well, Kerry, this was awesome, dude. I love the smile. I love the Tigers fight down the stretch here. So keep doing your thing. Keep winning ball games, okay? And we'll keep watching. And great talking to you. We'll catch you in the offseason.
And keep watching Joey Cora point at the ball wherever it is, even if it's right next to you.
Of course. I appreciate you guys having me on. I actually love this show, so it's an honor.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to have you, dude. Awesome guest. So we appreciate you. We'll talk soon, okay?
See you guys. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you. You too. Kerry Carpenter from the Tigers with us on FT. Love that.
Claudia is so mad right now
about Virginia
Polytechnical Institute.
Yeah. You know what? For some reason, I was like, isn't there a VMI, Virginia Military Institute? Yeah.
It's great.
I was like, Virginia Polytech.
Same area, a little farther north.
Okay, good. I was close.
But nobody on earth has ever called it Virginia Polytech.
No.
I mean, they only know it as the Hokies.
She's very technical.
Apparently, she's very polytechnical.
Yeah, she's very polytechnical, whatever that means. Do you want to talk about the Cora thing during this time? You guys feel like you need more time for it? Because I feel like the Alex Cora, so MLB is investigating him.
We want people to say the truth.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, we're protecting our guy, and then all of a sudden he's in trouble.
But he technically is
a
team/league employee. Maybe in trouble, right? I mean,
can he just say, haha, I was just kidding, LOL?
Yeah, he should. He should tweet that out and be like, JK, LOL, just trying to entertain the media. Long season. It's mid-September. We're not in it.
IYK.
I know.
If you know, you know.
Or if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, the quote was, we took exception to the hit by pitch because it was loud and clear that he didn't want to face him. It was intentional. I'm not going to back off. It was intentional. That was his thought of Cole hitting him with that cutter earlier. And then he said about, trying to hit Judge, quote, the case was closed yesterday around the 6th inning. We had our chance. It didn't happen, and we have to move on. I love it. I mean, it's real. He's going to get a fine.
It'll cost him a little money. The investigative people at MLB are the nicest, most intrusive people you'll ever meet. They want to ask questions. Well, I know it might not be a big deal, but we just want to gather information. He's going to get a talking to, and a little charity, a little extra charity. Joey's an already philanthropic person, so I'm sure he's going to give it to a Puerto Rican charity somewhere, something.
Perfect. He's also a rich philanthropic person.
He is very
he just got paid, so he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's fine. Mm-hmm. So, okay, good. Let's just clear that. If there's a suspension, we're going to be pissed, right? That's too much.
Yes. Should not be a suspension.
Yes.
Nobody got it. Nope.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll see what they announce. If it's just a fine, we probably won't even talk about it because it doesn't matter. It's all good. Just money going.
You probably won't even know the amount unless he tells everybody.
No. Yeah, you won't know the amount. I hope he does tell everyone because that'd be cool. If he's like, yeah, I gave $100,000 to this. Cool
it ain't going to be $100,000.
It won't be. If it's 10, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, if it's four figures, I'd be surprised.
Really? Not even $1,000?
500.
That's
$500.
$2,000. I'm gonna say $2,000.
And he'll appeal. Appeal it, Alex.
In the weeds, we're doing power rankings. We don't do this often. Do you guys like this? Should we do it more often?
Yeah, it's hard to pick them.
That's the fun of it. I don't want to go first. Can AJ go first?
I'm not first. You're first.
No, I don't want to go first.
I'll go first. I don't care.
Yeah.
Skirt.
First. I just feel like people care more about what you have to say and what Kratz has to say. And if it's like, we run out of time because they're playing the music at the Emmys or whatever, then they're like,
That's what Claude does to us every time we have a guest on, so we're used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like the guy that just doesn't listen. Actually, you are, Scott. I try to listen.
Yeah, you listen a little bit better than me.
But I have selective hearing. Trust me, I hear about it every day. You weren't listening to me. Well, I was, but I turned it off. I hit the ignore button.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, it's the mute.
So I'll go mine. Mine are the Phillies 1. And listen, let me say this before we dig into these. Every one of these teams is flawed in a way. There is no team that you're like, man, they could just run away with it. So I'm going Phillies 1 just because their experience, their lineup, their starting pitching. And they seem to have kind of figured out the back end of the bullpen a little bit here and there with some of the guys. So Phillies 1, Dodgers 2, just because of the lineup. I think if Yamamoto comes back, I think if Buehler figures it out a little bit, and I think if Kopech continues, who we'll have on later, to do what he's doing, they found a back end guy.
You said if a lot.
This is not at the end of the year. We still got 11, 12 games left, okay? 3 of the Yankees, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Stanton's in there. Rizzo figures it out a little bit. Cole, if he gets back. Again, there's going to be a lot of ifs because there's no perfect team, right? The back end of their bullpen, whether it's Clay Holmes, whoever it is going to be okay, I think, because they have enough stuff to maneuver it. But I think they're starting pitching with Cole, Rodon, Stroman, whoever else they want to run out there, whether Nestor's in there, whoever it is, Clark Schmidt, whoever it is, I think they have enough. Because the American League is a lot weaker for me than the National League. Then I have the Astros. Why? Experience. They've done it. Verlander's going to pitch in the postseason. Just to show Scott that he's wrong once again, you have Fromber, you have Hunter Brown, you have Eric Getty, you have Kikuchi, you have Blanco. They got stacked in the stack back end of the bullpen. And then finally, just because Erik Kratz is a homer, I'm going Brewers because I like talking to Murph, and I think they've done things that nobody thought they would do. And they got a chance to get a bye. So I like where the Brewers are at.
All right, so where was he wrong, Kratz?
Well, I think Murph is the loser, and so that's why I put the Brewers off here. And I put the Guardians on.
Whoa! Whoa. Can I clip this? Because I'm going to Milwaukee on Thursday. Can I clip this and say, Kratz said you are a loser?
Loser. And then he's going to say, well, now I'm not coming on the show next week. And I'm going to say, anyway, whatever.
I'm going to rescue that, though. And we have 2 out of 3 for Murph. Brewers on our top 5, so they're on mine too.
Oh, yeah.
So. Okay, go ahead, Kratz.
I left them off because I don't think they have the same as what Cleveland has, and I couldn't not put Houston on because that's just I can't bet against Houston. I did it early in the season. I can't bet against them. The way they're playing, I think the West is actually weaker than some people put out there because the Mariners should be good, but they can't hit. So I think there's so much optimism in Houston because of things that you are not normally looking at. Like, we have to trust in Framber Valdez. We have to trust in Hunter Brown. Like, they have established themselves this year, and I think they're a solid number 5. Obviously, the Phillies are a perfect team. There's nothing wrong, and that's why they have JT Realmuto, the perfect man, on my Erik's power rankings. I think the Yankees have done what they've done recently without Judge being in fuego. And if he becomes in fuego, they could jump the Phillies in my power ranking, to be honest. And because I think their starting pitching depth is better than what people think. Yes, AJ said there's a lot of ifs, but they have a lot of depth to fall back on. They essentially have 5 guys who could start a playoff game. They're not going to have all 5, and that could be their downfall. The Dodgers are so flawed in starting pitching, but their lineup is ridiculous. All the things that AJ said.
Who was the toughest team to leave off for both of you? And then I'll go, because I have one that I'm probably going to get crap for.
The toughest team for me was probably Cleveland, because the Cleveland and Brewers to me are very close to each other, just because they're very similar. When I did a game, they played each other, and you're like, how the heck are both? I told both managers, I told Voter, I'm like, and Murph, I'm like, how are you guys doing this? Because if you go man for man in their lineup to some of these other teams, it doesn't fit. But for some reason, the pieces fit together. So how are they doing this? So to me, I have Brewers at 5, and I could have easily swapped them for the Guardians.
Okay. Murph's answer,
I want to say
the Brewers, he would say, "Oh, well, it's all me. It's because I'm managing."
No, he would actually never say that.
I know, but he would
never say that.
Yes. He would joke and say that.
Yes, he would. But yeah. I know who. I mean, it's the same. It's the same for me. I didn't put the Brewers in. I put Cleveland in, but I know who Scotty's power ranking team is. He chose them last year. He loved the Padres.
The Mariners. The Mariners.
No, not the Mariners.
No, he loves the Padres.
Last year, but I picked him a little early. So, all right, let's do this. Let's bring it
up. The Pirates.
Because I did leave a team off that people are going to probably give me crap for. Phillies won. Steelers on a roll. The rotation's there besides Suarez, who's definitely still struggles.
But he's done it really. He's always done it in the postseason.
Right. He's turned it on at that time. Even if he doesn't, though, can they still win a World Series if he's not pitching well? Yeah, I think so. There's enough there besides him, right? There's enough star power. So I've got Astros 2. Some might say that's a little bit high, but they've been playing really good ball ever since the slow start for a few weeks.
Is that with or without Justin Verlander pitching?
Either way, they can win a World Series. They're definitely capable, and this is why they got Hader in the offseason. Kyle Tucker's working his way. I mean, he's back, but he's working his way back to looking like Kyle Tucker. I'll take Yordan Alvarez in a big at-bat over just about anybody, and they've been there before. Padres 3. It's controversial, Padres fans. Last year, I picked the Pods to win the World Series. I was not inside the clubhouse. It was my first year that I was not traveling very frequently, so I clearly didn't get the vibes down correctly, but the vibes they're there right now. Jackson Merrill, Clutch City. You know the reason why I'm picking them, though? I couldn't leave them off, and I watched the whole game last night, and I've been watching them much more frequently lately as they've basically solidified themselves as a wild card team, and I think they're going to host the wild card series in the first round, and that's a tough place to play, right, in the National League. I just think the bullpen's dominant. I do. Like they're trying to pick at excuses there. Like, oh, Suarez had like a few bad starts. Outings. Okay. He looked great again yesterday. I don't know. There's 4 or 5 guys there that I think can close games out, and I would feel comfortable for them pitching in the 9th inning for me in a World Series game. 4 or 5 guys, and that's on one team. I think there's enough firepower on offense. Best, I think, against breaking balls. I don't know if it was for the season or in the second half. I mean, they've just got a lot working for them, and they've got variety with their offense. And 3 starters that I think can carry, especially if Darvish looks like that. Michael King, Dylan Cease. Dodgers are right next to them for me. Padres have been playing better ball than the Dodgers for a while now. I think those two are pretty close, right? Obviously, you got the star power in the lineup. I am concerned about the rotation for them, and I do give the Padres the edge with the bullpen as well. Dodgers bullpen's good. Padres, I think, is probably best in the league right now. And then I'll go Brewers 5. I have a hard time leaving them off. They've been consistently great the entire year. I think the brand of baseball they play has some Diamondbacks of last year to it, so I could see them making a run, making noise. The question is going to be the starting pitching, but they can run, they can make contact, they're going to be tough to shut out, and their bullpen is nasty. So who did I leave off that people are going to give me crap for?
Yeah, the Yankees.
I left the Yankees off. I just was matching up team by team against the Yanks, like how I would feel with them in a series, and I felt like all these teams would beat them. That's just how I felt.
So you have 4 NL teams and 1 AL team.
Yeah, I also –
As do I.
So when I was playing poker the other day, there's a
2.
dude who throws down on games, and he's like, what am I doing here? Let's run through things. And they gave him a bunch of NL teams I felt good about. I didn't feel good about that many AL teams. In terms of winning a World Series, he's like, I'm putting money down on World Series winning teams. Let's go through it. And he's like, Orioles? I'm like, nah, I don't feel good about them, dude. I gave him 2 teams in the AL that I said I feel comfortable with if you told me they win a World Series. The Astros and the Yankees. Yeah. But I gave him like 5 or 6 in the NL. Could you see those teams winning a World Series?
Can you see the okay, this is, and again, this is not I guess it kind of is. You know, anytime you're like, this isn't a knock on them, but it kind of is. Do you really see the Brewers winning the World Series?
That's the toughest one for me.
Right?
I had a hard time
and they've had an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
But when you match them up with the Dodgers, you match them up with the Phillies, you even match them up with the Braves/Mets, Padres, Diamondbacks. You're like, man, how did they do it? But then again, we've been asking that all year. So
they get a bye. And also last year, did we see the Rangers and the Diamondbacks making it to the finish line? I just think the way the playoff format is set, you did? You saw that?
No, we saw the Rangers lineup making it to the finish line.
Preseason last year, I picked the Diamondbacks Rangers to be in the World Series.
Wow, that's good. I'll have to go back to that. You know, every show we do is actually on demand available. So either Bally Sports app or online on YouTube. So I'm going to go do some fact checking. But I don't know. I felt pretty good about my list. It's hard to – I was looking and I'm like, there's 1 or 2 teams there where I'm having a hard time. I couldn't do it. I was Brewers, Yanks at the bottom there with 5. And I'm like, you know what? Brewers have been a consistent team. I think they can keep up. It would definitely be a feisty kind of different flavor battle, if that makes sense. Like the Yankees are a very different kind of team setup wise than the Brewers, but I think they could upset them, you know, if they met up in a World Series.
I said last year that the Brewers were going to win the World Series because of their top 3 starting pitchers. And they were out so fast. I mean, Corbin Carroll, he was like, no, they're not going to. That's where like a team can come in and just absolutely just slap you in the face and you don't even know what happens. Can the Brewers do that?
Yeah. I had the Yankees were tough to leave off, then the Diamondbacks, because I do think they're really built well for the playoffs.
But dude, they got to get sliding away here.
I know. And then the Guardians too. It's, you know, what's crazy is I like went pretty far down. I'm like, where would I have the Orioles? I was like, whatever, 8 or 9 at that point, which is crazy.
Because they're not hitting or pitching.
No.
And by the way, speaking of pitching, guess who's pitching for the Diamondbacks tonight?
Jordan Montgomery.
And guess where they give him his start at? Colorado.
Hey, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. You can make it
Speaking of things you didn't expect to happen, he's got almost a 7 ERA, and they're like, by the way, Monty, go start in Colorado.
Yep. We're going to talk about it later, too. I'm going to hit that game. But Michael Kopech is going to join us for the first time here on FT. He's in the green room waiting. So 2 minutes, and then we've got him. All right, Kratz, quick pop quiz. True or false, home-cooked meals are better for you more often than not because you're using real ingredients that you can see and they're put together, you know, by yourself rather than trusting whatever you're getting at a restaurant. Fact or fiction?
Facts. Absolute facts.
Fact or fiction, it's annoying to shop at the grocery store when you have a bunch of kids and you suddenly have to figure out dinner really quickly.
As the kids say, peak facts. That's big facts.
Okay, good. So what do? America's number one meal kit is?
HelloFresh. Just log on and just get your orders. Schedule. You got to schedule where you're going to eat anyway, or you're going to eat trash. This way you schedule, you know what's going to happen, and it's coming to your front door.
I like to give him easy quizzes, raise his confidence.
Yes, you got to make them simple for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
Much like cooking with HelloFresh is.
That's
simple.
Right. Simple. See?
Get it sent to you. You cook it up, and if you don't like something, like Scott can't have anything to eat other than meat and cheese and dairy.
Yeah.
Then he just takes the cheese out, or he takes the meat out, and he just eats the lettuce.
Diet, I will say.
Scott just has a sugar packet or two.
I definitely don't do that, but I go on the website and I can see what's included. I can get the allergens listed, the whole deal. I see every ingredient, so it makes it pretty easy. Plus, there's plenty to choose from. Ever-changing menu of 50 recipes. So, for free breakfast for life, you can go to hellofresh.com/freeft. Just casually said it there. Free breakfast item per box, one of them, while subscription is active. Every time you get a box, you get a free breakfast item if you use FREEFT as the code, just by going to hellofresh.com/FREEFT. Michael Kopech from the Dodgers, just dominating in the late innings, joining us next. Hey, here we go. Dodgers reliever Michael Kopech joining us right now on FT. Dude, great to see you. How's everything going, first of all, in LA?
Great. Thanks for having me, guys. But yeah, it's been awesome coming over here. Kind of change of scenery. Might have been much needed, but yeah, I'm loving it.
All right, so let me ask you this. White Sox, obviously we know each other through the White Sox, Michael. We could never get you on with the White Sox. And now here you are at the Dodgers, less than a month, we have you on. I mean, is there a difference in the White Sox PR versus the Dodgers PR? Because I just don't get it.
Yeah, they're great. They're all great.
No, it's more on me. I think you know me well enough to know I don't do a whole bunch of this stuff. So, yeah, they're a little more persistent maybe over here, but
okay, yeah. I like it. And listen, I appreciate it. I know we've talked about it before, so I am very grateful that we finally get to have you, your facial hair, and your long hair on TV. I'm just mad you don't put it up anymore. It's longer now, so I don't know.
In the games, it's tucked away, neat kept as it can be.
Well, Kratz is very jealous.
Yeah, of course he is. Well, we do appreciate it. Just so you know, we ask our fans often, who do you want to hear from? And you were very, very highly requested, especially since you joined the Dodgers. Of course, Dodgers have a pretty large fan base. So let me ask you this. You get the call or you get it in person, whatever it is. Hey, you're traded. You're going to the Dodgers. What was your reaction when you heard all of that?
It was a little surreal. I told a lot of guys when I was over there with the White Sox, I kind of grew up over there. Got there at a young age, got to the big leagues at a young age, had to figure some things out, had, a few mentors, I could say. But that was kind of where I learned what the big leagues was. So getting traded was it was more of a shock to just not be with that organization anymore. But it was also really exciting to be with a team like the Dodgers, who, is one of the best organizations in baseball, and this year especially one of the best teams. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was an adjustment for sure.
You've seen, I'm sure you've seen the memes of Miguel Vargas since he got traded to the White Sox and all of them where he's like super sad. He's like sitting there, he's like, right?
Yeah.
So then when you got the call, you're like, wait a minute, I'm going from where to where? So
Right.
then there should be a meme of you like,
yeah, you could probably make a couple of those. Yeah, it's I don't want to necessarily get too much into it. Like I do feel bad for him, but like I lived it too, you know. And the guys that are over there that I'm really close with, I got a lot of buddies that are over there. They're going through it, and I know they're going through it. But you're playing Major League Baseball. It's just, you know, it may not be fun when you're losing.
Do you have to just automatically listen to the Dodgers when you come over? Yeah, like you get traded. We talk about it all the time on here. Like, oh, Michael Kopech's wanted by the Rays. He's wanted by the Dodgers. Let's hold them back. They're going to unlock something. So you go in as the player now, and you just got there. Do you just automatically, blindly listen to what the Dodgers, Mark Pryor, like all the pitching gurus, their analytics guys? Do you just blindly listen, or are you like, dude, I got over 5 years in the show. Like, I know what I'm doing.
You know, I think I was willing to listen to anything that was told to me coming over here. But truthfully, the thing that's been told to me the most since I've been here is just go be yourself. So not a whole lot's changed. There's been some talks about like, you know, tweaking pitches here and there or whatever. But for the most part, they're just, you know, they're high on my stuff and they're like, go use it. So it's been a pretty easy transition as far as that stuff goes.
Was this a team on your list? Like, did you have a list ever, whether it was growing up or once you were in the big leagues, where it's like, hey, if I ever, you know, play for multiple teams in my career, these are some that I'd really want to be a part of, you know, for legacy purposes, or just grew up watching certain players? Was this a team that was on there?
To be honest, I didn't really have a list like that. I grew up watching the Rangers, so, you know, wanted to be a Rangers player, you know, from being a young fan there. But once I got drafted, I wanted to win. I didn't care where it was. And to come over here to a team that's doing that is really special for me.
Michael, what did they tell you, though? Because, you know, listen, your year with the White Sox wasn't great. And this isn't a White Sox bashing. I'm being serious. But, you know, your stuff has always been amazing. Then you get traded to the Dodgers. And the Dodgers basically said, throw more breaking balls, throw more changeups. What have they unlocked in you? Because, yes, I know every team has analytics and every team uses it differently. But what did they tell you when you first came over and said, hey, yes, you've had this great talent, but we need you to do X, Y, Z?
Yeah, the first thing that was told to me was kind of, ironically, the last thing that was being told to me with the White Sox is like, hey, you got to mix more pitches. Whether it's just, you know, throw in a slider a couple more times, or, you know, mixing in a third pitch or what have you. You can't just throw 90% fastballs. And, you know, that seems pretty obvious. It doesn't seem like it's any breaking news or anything like that. But I was doing that. I was throwing, I think there was a few games where I threw 29 out of 30 pitches that were fastballs. And I got in trouble for it. I got damaged. But at the end of the day, like, I think I'm back to throwing a very similar amount of fastballs that I was throwing earlier in the year right now. And I think that's because that's my A-plus pitch. That's what I'm going to throw. I don't think it's any secret to any hitter that's coming in the box facing me, is I have a unique fastball and I use it. And so when I do use it, it's just a matter of throwing it with conviction or not. Like, and that may not be a velocity thing. I might not be throwing, you know, it might be the difference in 99 and 100. I don't think to a hitter that's going to make much difference, but I think throwing a fastball with conviction for me gives it that life, that hop, that carry ride, whatever you want to call it. You know how the game is right now. But it gives it a little bit more of that, and it makes it a little bit tougher to hit. And I think that there was a point earlier in the season where I kind of got away from throwing my fastball with conviction, and it got touched up a little bit more. So it's just coming in, knowing the situation, knowing that we're trying to win, and like not really giving in ever for any pitch. And the few times I have given in, it's got me in a little bit of traffic, and I've had to work out of it.
Is it easier to have conviction as a pitcher when you're winning more games.
Absolutely. It's not a knock on anybody. It's just, it is what it is. Like, we know what we're trying to do over here. And also, like, if I'm in a losing game and it's a 1 or 2 run game, we know what our lineup is. We know that could very well turn around quickly. I think it's just knowing that every game is winnable for us. Nothing's out of reach. And so going out there and competing to take a dub every day is really important to that. And I think that leads to throwing the ball with conviction.
All right. We have 2 old catchers. We have 2 old catchers on here. And we're always like talking about like pitchers, evaluating pitchers. I want to hear from a teammate, but also from a fellow pitcher about Garrett Crochet, what he offers, if he's as impressive to you as he is to us.
Absolutely. Obviously the stuff is what it is. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows what it is. The makeup, in my opinion, is, top notch. He was one of my best buddies when I was over there. We spent a lot of time in the pen together in 21. Seeing him get injured was a tough hit, but the way he worked was even more impressive, seeing him come back than what he naturally was coming out of the draft. Everybody saw what he was coming out of the draft, throwing over 100 when he came in, striking guys out at a high rate out of the pen, even when he wasn't fully healthy, throwing 95, 96, touching 97. Now he's back up to 100, but doing it for triple the innings that he's ever thrown. But the guy he is as a teammate is special. The work ethic he has is special. The will to win is unmatched. I think the guy is going to be a frontline starter for any team that he's on. And he's proven that he can do that with a team like the White Sox. But I don't, no offense to them, I don't think that was difficult for him to do this year. But leading a team to as much success as he had, I think says a lot to who he is, even when the team is struggling the way they were. But yeah, I love Garrett. I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, you wish he would have got traded with you so you could have him in that locker room starting every fifth day for you too. I mean, that's about 28 other teams do besides the Dodgers. But
right.
let me ask you this. You got traded to the Dodgers. Now you get to see Shohei every day, right? Mm-hmm. Is it just so much more impressive than you thought? And he's not even pitching yet. So what if he goes to Dave Roberts and says, yeah, Kopech's like our late inning guy, but he's like, give me the ball, coach. Forget that Kopech guy. I'll come in throw 100.
I'd be happy to see it. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, watching him do what he's doing at the plate right now is really cool. And I think that there's murmurs of like, will he do this when he's also pitching? I don't know. But what he's doing right now is super special. It looks like the game is easy for him, like it has since he got here. And to see the way he prepares is pretty cool. But he's a normal guy. He doesn't have a big ego about him. He likes to have fun, really friendly, and he just goes out there and works hard. It just, like I said, looks like it comes easy. So it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, I've got one more for you.
Wait, whoa, hold on. I got to ask this before Scott goes. So wait, if he's so easygoing, I mean, you said the Dodgers PR is very persistent. So put in a good word for him that, we're fun and easygoing, and we'd love to talk to him, even if it's for like 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. All we're asking is for 2 minutes here.
Yeah, I'll put in a word.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, we've had most guys on at this point.
We've had a lot of Dodgers, ton of Dodgers. Munchie's one of our guys.
That's right.
Mookie, Gavin, Lux. I mean, we've had a ton of them.
Kike a couple times.
Glasnow.
Yeah, Kike. We've had a lot of Dodgers.
Yeah.
Dodgers are great.
They are great.
Oh, Glasnow. Are you jealous of Glasnow's hair? Are you jealous of that hair?
Ooh.
Like, let's be honest. That's not good hair. That's elite.
Yeah.
That's like saying you have a good fastball. You have a plus fastball. That's your plus elite pitch.
Yeah, he's got elite hair. He's top of the league in hair for sure.
Yeah.
All right, wait. So who's better looking, you or Glasnow? Because you guys both, kind of have those model looks with the long hair. Glasnow gets the Peaky Blinders guy look. You kind of, you look like a big stud out there. So who's better looking, you or Glasnow?
I think he's got more of the GQ look, and I'm more mountain man. So it depends on what you want. I'm not gonna go as far as calling another man handsome on a video cast right here, but I'm just sad.
It's okay. You can call. You're a handsome fella. That's okay. You can call another man handsome.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, so then here, I'll give you a more comfortable question at the finish line. Ready? Do you want to start again? Do you ever want to go back and try that in the off season again? I know it was getting kicked around in spring training. You were stretching out.
Lost him.
What
Scotty was trying to say was, are you going to start again? Is that possible for you to start again?
It's on my wish list. It's up to the organization at this point. I think I found a good fit in the bullpen, but starting, mixing pitches, going deep in the games, having a lot of control over the momentum of the game, that's always something that I've really enjoyed doing. But that's, if it's not in the cards, it's not in the cards. I just want to compete and help the team win. So
I love it. Always keep it open. And you'll be a free agent after next season. So just saying, there's a lot of value in starting to. You know that. Michael Kopech, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome to have you. I appreciate it. And don't be shy. Don't be shy to do these kinds of things. You have your story. Everybody wants to hear it.
I appreciate it. Thanks, fellas.
No doubt.
With the Orioles, guys, they've been under 500 since July, which I know some teams have had up and downs and stuff. I know there's been bad stretches from every playoff contender, but I think it's kind of floated under the radar how bad the Orioles have been. And let me tell you, that lineup has been really bad. They just lost the series to Detroit. Adley Rutschman, since he got hit on the hand in June, has been the worst hitter in that lineup. Now, people are speculating if he's hurt. I don't know if he's hurt or not. He attests that he's not hurt. He homered for the first time in like a month yesterday in that game they lost. But that lineup has been just absolutely brutal. And I think if you're the Orioles, you're concerned. This is the same team that went missing against the Texas Rangers and was swept out of the playoffs. So, there's been a lot of problems. So I think if you're the Orioles, you look at that schedule. We talked about the Mets. They've got to play the Yankees still. I mean, the Orioles have a tough schedule as well. And right now, they might not even host the wild card, which is crazy. This is a team that I think people were expecting to come down into the wire for the AL East. The Yankees are running away with it right now, and the Orioles are showing no signs of life.
Gerardo Parra absolutely waffled you.
Couldn't get him out.
Would you give him the 4 wide with nobody on, nobody out?
No chance in hell.
Why not?
I don't know. Not built like that. If you're going to get me, you're going to get me. I'm not just giving you one.
That's it, Kratz? You're not going to give any more context to it?
I mean, my guy watches the games. He knows what's going on.
He knows Gerrit Cole. He knows Gerrit Cole went like this to Rafael Devers and then gave up a 7 spot on the backside of that. I mean, let's be honest here.
I've only done that once in my career where I looked at the dugout and said, "Hey," and Trout just hit a double with 2 outs and Shohei was coming up. So that's my one.
And who was on deck though? Who was on deck and what was the score?
Does it matter at that
It
point?
does, because
I know we were winning by 1, I think, at the time. So it doesn't matter who's on deck if you're already in the situation you're in with 2 outs and runner on second and Shohei up. You're gonna walk him anyways. So you might as well. And I think he had already struck out twice against me that day, and there's no way that the third time was gonna happen. So it was like, hey, let's move on to the next guy.
Okay, so in the 4th inning, Shohei comes up. You're up 1-0. Are you going like this?
No.
Okay, good answer.
Hey, there's a shop with our merch. Tough name to remember, but if you can, foulterritoryshop.com. Shirts, hoodies, wristbands, coffee mugs, stickers, multiple variations of hats, polos. If you're into the golf thing or trying to look a little more official, or the country club won't let you in, but you want to wear FT, all of that's there for you. FoulTerritoryShop.com. Where to start? See, it's really fun to track the games right now because of the implications in the standings. We're going to do National League because we started off the show with American League wild card. Got to start with the Mets, right? I mean, they're grinding a little bit. They lost their MVP candidate for a few days. He said he's day-to-day, essentially, Francisco Lindor. He's like, best case scenario, he returns for this series. And it sounded like worst case scenario would be towards the end of the regular season. All of it's happening in the next week and a half. But he said he'd be back. He'd be back.
He said that at his press conference.
Pun intended.
No, he said that.
Yeah,
he's like, I should be back. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
I'll be back. But when? I mean, for the Mets right now, every game matters. So they were scratching and clawing yesterday. Jake Irvin was dominating for a while too, and he did that against them in August. But Manaea was great. Starling Marte gets the the walk-off knock, and Jose Iglesias with runners in scoring position just always makes contact. And lastly, Kratz, you know what stood out to me? Reed Garrett. In the 10th inning, gets out of a little jam sandwich. Obviously, no one scored against him. That's the difference. And bottom of the inning, they get the run they need. They bunted the guy over, and then third base, less than 2 outs. Nope, nothing. Reed Garrett with the shutdown inning.
Can we talk about middling? Look at all the teams at the top of the wild card. They're all just kind of 6-4, 5-5. There's somebody that could have gone on a hot streak during this time and just put everybody else away. But they're all just like the Mets. We talk about nobody's perfect here. Are the Mets good enough to make a run? We didn't have them on the power rankings. So we talk about like expanded playoffs. Like, are these the teams that we want in? Teams that are down the stretch, big game, 5-5, 6-4, 4-6. Like, they all have the same run differential, give or take.
Well, then why are the good teams in? Because they all been mid too for a while. Philly's been playing mid ball for months. Yankees,
Orioles have been under 500. Bridgeroli said it yesterday.
The best teams in the second half of the season that are in playoff contention are the teams we're talking about. The Padres, the Diamondbacks had an epic run.
Mets took off.
The Mets have had an epic run.
Yeah.
I'm a hard disagree on that. I think these are the hottest teams in baseball right now.
Tigers are the hottest team right now,
Sure.
but they might not get in because they started from so far back.
But the Padres, Diamondbacks, I know the Diamondbacks have taken, have had a tough past week and a half.
They were way under 500 40 games ago.
Yeah,
50 games, whatever it was.
These teams are playing the best ball out of anyone right now.
Okay, because the other teams are already in, and so they're kind of like setting themselves up, not trying to play as well. No,
I don't think that's it at all. Because the Brewers,
just as good.
The Brewers, the Phillies, and the Dodgers all want to buy.
Yeah.
So they're all trying as hard as they can. I mean, the other teams are trying to get in, and they're like you said, they might not have been hot for the last 10, but over the long 40, 50 game span, they're probably the best teams, other than maybe the Twins.
So then, what's more important? Playing good at the beginning of the season or playing good at the end of the season?
Playing good in October?
October, but end of the season. Momentum. Momentum's still a thing. It's not a thing all the time, but sometimes we see a team get hot late in the year, and they just look different too. Look at some of the teams we're talking about now. Look at the Mets for the first month of the season this year. They looked like crap.
And the Mets put in that grimace seat.
Yeah.
The Mets couldn't hit at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They can't hit now. They're just finding ways to win.
That's fine. Because you know what? Whatever Jeremy Hefner's doing in the pitching program, that is working.
Mm-hmm.
Winning.
Dude, Manaea, David Peterson, Luis Severino's been good. I mean, they've got guys that I would not want to face, or teams should not want to face in a wild card. So anyway, they pull up a dub. The Braves got slaughtered by the Dodgers. So the Mets jump. Diamondbacks fall again. Merrill Kelly was good, so that's at least a positive sign. And Ketel Marte hit a 460-foot bomb, but they did get walked off.
Every day we ask this. Who's in? Who's the one team that's out of it? Stop talking about the Padres. Padres are in.
Padres are in. They're in. For me, I mean, it's the Mets or Braves still. I still have the Diamondbacks, and I don't know how you feel about it. I think they're going to kick the crap out of the Rocks today. But I've got the Diamondbacks and Padres in. I think you do too.
I do.
Right?
I do too. I think they're both going to.
It's Mets Braves,
because the Mets and the Braves also play each other for 3 games before the Diamondbacks Padres play each other,
and that's going to decide the season series too.
Yeah. So there's some. That's
so who is it
before? Well, I picked the Braves to go to the World Series, so I got to pick the Braves.
I'll go Mets.
Of course, Homer.
What's the Homer part of it?
You're from New York.
Dude, I was down on the Mets for a while, so I am not.
The only thing you're down on is the Mets not getting us enough guests.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of Mets. We've gotten almost every player on the Mets in the past year.
Well, in spring training, we got about 10 of them.
Oh, yeah. But even still, since then, we've gotten some Mets. We had
We'd like to get Pete again. We'd like to get Frankie again.
Here's my thing with Pete, okay? Because we like to take you behind the scenes as much as possible. He's got a pretty big contract coming up. He might be getting told from his team, like, let's just wait. And then you can do whatever you want because he's one of the best interviews in baseball. Mm-hmm. He's super straightforward. He loves this show. I feel like some guys, when they're getting this close to free agency, just kind of don't do
You know
much.
what you sound like right now?
What?
A team PR guy.
I'm telling you what they do. I don't agree with it. Dude, I just did
Okay, let's get real behind the scenes now. Okay, I'm going to role play Scott, Erik, and you role play Scott also. Guys, man, I know these people at the Mets, and I have been asking for every Met. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me get my shirt like 3 sizes too small. Look at me. I'm Scott.
I've been getting you Mets players. Though.
Okay, but what I'm saying is every day you're like, man, these teams tell us that they're in the playoff race, and we don't want their players to talk. Now, you just justified it.
I did it yesterday.
Go ahead, Kratz, your turn.
No.
You guys having coffee?
From the rest of the Mets. Does Pete Alonso have a big contract situation coming up? And I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying that that's what players do. Players hitting free agency.
But you're now standing up for the same guys behind the scenes. You're like, gosh darn it. I'm trying to get this player, and we can't.
Taking you behind the scenes. That's it. Taking you behind the scenes. That's it. Okay? Mets are at least in a playoff race. So
they are.
We have to call the Red Sox by ourselves because they're too busy. If you really want to get into it, okay.
Look at Kratz is frozen as Scott. I love it.
I've never done that.
But seriously, like, how do we know that maybe if Pete came on for 10 minutes, it wouldn't help him relax and laugh a little bit and be like, okay, I'm ready to go.
Text Scott Boras.
I don't have Scott's number, but I mean, I do have Scott's number.
I do too. I think it's different. I think when our players are this close to free agency,
what does free agency have to do with anything?
Dude, I'm not the one. I wouldn't do that.
Kratz, when you were about to be a free agent, you were like, I don't want to do that interview because I'm going to be a free agent.
I don't think
I was always a free agent.
Exactly.
This is what sells. This is what I mean, we're totally off on a tangent now, but I think this is what this show sells is a personality of a guy. If somebody comes on and he's like, baseball's fun. Baseball's not fun. I like winning. Like, yeah, you'd be like, wow, I didn't know that guy was such a dud. But these guys have great personalities. It's an opportunity to show your personality. You're going free agency. It's an opportunity to sell yourself to the teams. Come on. You're doing bad? Come on. Get some FT heat. You're doing great? I'll do anything when I'm doing great.
Like, all right, well, I'll flip this off and show this to some of the agents because some agents are great and some agents are like, don't do anything. I don't care about your brand or anything else. I just care about your contract. It's just how it is. It's the truth. If we're doing real talk here. Some agents tell their players,
are we role playing? I don't know.
Don't do anything. Are we still in the role play? All right, well, let's go back out for this one. Because I do want to hit this real quick with the Padres. Epic streak from Luis Ariz. He was doing that. He was sad after the game. They were like, what's wrong? He's like, I struck out.
Yeah, listen. As somebody that prided himself in not striking out that much as, I mean, not to the extent of Luis Ariz, you go 140 plus plate appearances without punching out. That's a big deal. I know people, and he's raking. He's almost hitting fair. Does 397
during that time period.
During that time frame. So don't tell me not striking out doesn't matter because if he's let's say in that 141, like most big leaguers, he struck out 50 times. That means his BABIP would have to be ridiculous to get to 397. But if you put the ball in play consistently with line drives, you can hit 397 over 140 plus plate appearances.
Also, I know this is an outlier to an extent, but the more times you put a ball in play, there's errors, and you don't get any credit for that.
No.
Right? He puts a ball in play, and it gets messed up. I'm sure it's happened a few times at least during that time period. He gets nothing. That is worth nothing.
But also think about this. Kratz, I think you have my back. If you look at a lineup, and let's say there's a guy on third, in less than 2 outs, and you look up and you're like, Luis Arraez is coming up. Crap, I can't count on a punch out here. He's going to put the ball in play. Or you get a guy, and I'm going to use your guy, Ellie, that strikes out like 45% of the time. You're like, well, I can just throw him 3 sliders in the dirt and punch him out, and we're out of the inning. I mean, that's a big difference for teams when they're like, man, we can hit and run here with the 9. If whoever's hitting 9th for the Padres, we could hit and run here. He can bunt. He can move the guy over. Like, those things add up over the course of time.
How about 9th inning? You're facing a lockdown closer, and you're in the playoffs. You're the Padres this year, and Arraez is up. You got to feel pretty good because you're like, at least we're not going to go down with a punch out against, high leverage relievers who do that. That's what we see so often in the playoffs, right? Big spot. He gets the punch out. It's not happening against Arraez. We haven't seen a streak like this in 20 years. Juan Pierre, 2004, had 147 plate appearances in a row without a strikeout. So it was a great game yesterday. I watched it from front to back. It was the 51st sellout in San Diego. It was
Dude,
a
they
fun
love their
game.
Padres, bro.
There was a lot going on. Darvish pitched really well.
Darvish is
a
good.
sign. Telling you, this team is going to be dangerous. Merrill, of course, homered. Profar homered. He was getting a little cold, and he was doing his whole thing. He was having a time. Obviously, he's a pretty showy player. But they still have a shot at the division because you know who they still have on the schedule?
Los Dodgers and the
Diamondbacks.
And the White Sox.
Oh, the White Sox.
Those are their last 3 series, right? I know they have White Sox. I looked up their schedule.
The White Sox go there next. I know that.
It's not.
A wild card race.
They don't.
Right.
I don't think they have a shot.
Here's the schedule. Thank you. Houston, 2 more. White Sox, Dodgers, Diamondbacks.
Look at that Arizona schedule, though. Oh, baby. 4 at Milwaukee.
Yeah. You could 3 against San Francisco. San Francisco's hurting right now.
Yeah, but still, if you get Webb and Snell, that's still tough.
Me who I thought was going to miss the playoffs.
Arizona, You said it yesterday.
How about I don't think the Padres are going to catch the Dodgers, so we can put that to bed.
Fine.
So that last series of the year against the Diamondbacks
are going to miss it?
Yeah, that last series of the year against the Diamondbacks, are the Padres going to be going full steam? Big league players always try to win. I got to make sure I say that caveat. Big league players always try to win. There's a difference if you're throwing Tanner Scott, Robert Suarez, Jeremiah, Estrada. It's way, way different. They're not throwing on the last day before they play a wild card game.
If you think that they're not winning the division, then they're not throwing those guys because they seem like they're in that first wild card spot. I feel like pretty good about that.
They might catch a small break though, the Diamondbacks, because if the Brewers continue to do what the Brewers have done, their magic number right now I think is 2 or 3 from the Cubs to win the division. I know they were trying to get a bye.
Yeah,
but let's say
tonight.
It
could happen tonight.
It could happen. Oh, it could happen. I'm hoping it happens Thursday when I'm there.
Oh, for the Brewers to clinch?
Yeah, because we could just see a clinching game.
Campaign.
Yeah, I love Shannon. We can send Ken there. Oh wait, Ken's not going to be there. Never mind. But what I'm saying is, and then the next day, listen, I know you have a different lineup, but Murph's not going to play his A lineup a day after they clinch the division. I know he's trying to, because there's going to be some. Let's be serious here. Not Jackson Chourio, he's not old enough, but the rest of those guys, they could be a little bit car sick the next day.
Good way to put it. I'm trying to find the pitching matchups too. I mean, it's far away, but some of the sites will still project it for you to see who could be pitching for San Francisco in those
That's
games.
forever away.
I know, but it's still it lines up sometimes. Bird Song's on there. Logan Webb's on there. So they might catch Mason Black. If they catch those 3, that's good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do one more thing here? Actually, no, we'll do it after. I do want to get to that Matt Chapman story. Thought it was pretty interesting, but let's save that for a sec. Yeah, let's swing back. Still got locks to do, and we'll hit that Matt Chapman signing story because Buster Posey might be the next.
They're the hottest team in baseball. I said to prove me wrong, and they did. So way to go, White Sox.
3 wins in a row. Good for them. Kratz, you easily hit yours. 9-0 win for the Dodgers. And I got a pretty sweat-free win for Milwaukee. I faded Ranger Suarez, and it worked.
Imanaga had 11 punchies, by the way. That number was way low.
Imanaga's looking good, man. He's finishing really strong. Very impressive. Not getting talked about because the Cubs aren't good, but impressive. And for Suarez, he at one point led the league with a 1.75 ERA. And since then, he's at a 5.61.
He also got hurt.
That's true. He got hurt. But, I mean, they'd like to see him get back on track. Otherwise, I keep fading him and winning bets. So let's get to Pap's pick.
FT fan, what's up? It's your boy Parlay Pap. I'm coming to you today with the guaranteed winner. As we get late in the season, man, it does get tougher to bet these games because, you know, you're not necessarily who's going to play, who wants to rest guys and who doesn't. But I know one thing. I know pitching, and I know Jordan Montgomery's he's gonna go out there. He's going to deal against Colorado today against Felton, who can't pitch no more. I don't think he's done. And number 2, you got Raggins, or as Salvi would say, Raggins, pitching today. And I mean, this guy's been dealing all year. I mean, he's a Cy Young candidate. So he's gonna whoop up on the Tigers today. So we're gonna put 200, and we're gonna win about that 3 at +1, about $330. I don't know. Just check the board, but we're gonna win at least $300. Peace.
Just check the board.
I'm trying to figure out who Raggins is. Is that he's related to Cole Reagan?
Yeah, Raggins.
He used to be coached by Griffel. Raggins used to be coached by Griffel.
Who dat?
Oh,
man.
Man.
Who wants to go next? Kratz, you got a pick?
I do have a pick, and this is the first time. I know we kind of go against each other a little bit sometimes, but we actually are fading each other. I'm taking the run line for the Phillies. Wheeler versus Montas. Phillies looking to bounce back after not scoring any runs yesterday. Montas, he's close, but Wheeler's looking to get ready for the playoffs. So I'm going run line at +145, I think.
35.
35, 45 was yesterday.
Wait, am I looking at yesterday's?
No, who'd you pick? You picked Milwaukee again?
No, I picked Arizona.
Oh, okay. Well,
wait, Kratz picked
Philly,
Milwaukee
today.
Yeah. Just one
run
game.
Run line
just
for the
one
Phillies.
game. Run line. That's it. You're taking who?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Who are you taking?
I went Arizona run line today.
Oh, it has
Win
been
by 2 or
But
more.
we'll take. Yeah, fine. What's your odds?
At -105. So dropping down 105 to win a hundo. It's Monty Day. So I've got Jordan Montgomery actually pitching well in Colorado. Trying to obviously make some money, get some time potentially in the playoffs because Arizona's going to make it. I know there's some fans in the chat that are agreeing with Kratz. They're going to make it. Mets and Braves are going to beat up on each other. They got to play 3 against each other. That's automatically making up ground right there. But anyway, I've got them beating up on Colorado tonight. I think this is the best offense in the league in terms of runs per game this year. They are going to score a lot tonight against Falter and the Rockies. A lot. But I'm not touching over-unders because I promised I wouldn't. So I've just got them winning by 2 or more.
Why did you decide not to touch over-unders? Why did you decide not to?
Because I had a bad slump at one point with them. And so I decided to skip it and get back to my strengths, which is picking wins and K-props. So
got it.
Here I am. What do you got?
I got Michael King over 4.5 punch-outs. Yes, I know it's the Astros. They don't strike out a lot, but I feel like he strikes out a lot of guys. And his punch-out numbers are always lower on the over-under. So 4.5 is low. He's going to give him probably 5 to 6 innings. He'll get 5 or 6 strikeouts. And then I know it's Wheeler, and Montas has been okay since he's gone to the Brewers, but 7.5 in Milwaukee. Phillies didn't score last night. I feel like over 7.5 should be an easy, and that gets me into the +200 range. That's +229.
Boom. There you go. You're the big man of the day.
I mean, 4.5 for Michael King? He's 8, 6, 9, 10, almost
that
every
was his
start.
prior case?
He's gone. He went, 6, 8, the 3, but he only went 4 innings. 7, 6, 10, 7, 9, 6, 9, 5, 6, 8, 6, 12.
That's good.
That's June 12th on.
And feeling the home heat in a series like that. I agree. I like that. I'll tell at least part of that. All right. So if you have the BetMGM app, Swing for the Fences is the game where you can get yourself just a little bonus action, right? Maybe a little $50 bonus bet. that you can get yourself into if you get a successful result when you pick an area of the strike zone and play as a batter. So you'll have the opportunity to win a reward if you get a hit. Reward types include odds boost tokens and bonus bets, among others. All rewards expire in 24 hours. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we'll be right back if you're watching on television. What if I could tell you that you're wearing crystals on your cleats?
We're not going to talk about it. We're going to save it for slap hands. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay, fine. So then I'll bring something else up. Why, you need more time for it? We'll do
No,
it at the
but
end.
yeah, but I would also we got a special present. I'd like to get it on the TV, not just on the YouTubes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so we'll do it during slap hands. That was the plan. We'll do it during slap hands. So, can I bring this up then? Did you see Mike Trout's comments? He hadn't
Yes.
spoken in a few months. He's, I don't want to say giving in, but he's like, I'll do a corner.
Well, at this point, he can't play
he
center
didn't
field.
say that, but he's
But
like,
at this point, he also can't play center field anymore
like at all.
because there's too many injuries. There's too much ground for him to cover. It's just too many things that have happened.
Okay.
So I think everybody's career comes to a crossroads, right, Kratz? Where you're like, I can play right field or left field and possibly DH and run less, or I could play center and run around. That's one of the worries about Aaron Judge when he had to play center a lot, is he has to cover too much ground and run too much. So it makes sense for him to come out and say this. He's hitting a little bit now. He's hitting off a tee, doing some stuff. And he's like, I'm ready for a regular offseason. How about this for a thought? Take some time off, Mike. Don't go right into it. Take a month off. Let your body heal up. Yes, do your rehab. I get all that. Maybe lift, some light lifting and stuff like that. Give yourself a month and then go after it.
Okay.
Instead of being, you've already been out, I get it. But by hitting now, yes, you want to know you feel good? Give your body some time. Give it a month.
Yeah, don't go in the weight room and roar like Kratz every morning in his basement.
I don't know. Try something different.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying new stuff. He insinuated that when he was on, that like, hey, I can't be drinking 5 Pepsis a day. Hey, I got to get this right. I got this. He's in that transition of, to me, where he could have a late career, middle career, whatever you want to say, resurgence and stay healthy, because he really cares about that, and he's still a really, really good player.
100%.
Yeah, you just wanted to see him on the field because he was good. It's not like we were watching him last year like, I don't know, I think he's done. He was good last year.
This year he was too.
I mean, sorry, this year. It felt like last year. I'm saying that the first month of the season, he had like, what, double-digit homers and maybe even double-digit swipes. I mean, he was
rolling good this year early, but then he kind of
tapered a little bit.
Yeah.
But he still looked really good. He looked like a star player in terms of his hitting results.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's what you want. Gold Glover, great slugger, crushes the Dodgers. Christian Walker joining us right now on Foul Territory. Christian, great to have you on here for the first time, and how you doing?
Great. Yeah, thanks for having me. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, of course. So first off, let's just get into the ball club. Are you schedule watching, scoreboard watching, whatever you want to call it? Are you looking at what you guys have on the docket, what other teams have, or none of that? You just got to win and you're in kind of thing?
All of the above. I mean, definitely watching. It's something we talk about during spring training, and something that Tori does a great job with is talking about earning the right to scoreboard watch. You know, it's a privilege. You got to earn that, and you know, it's fun to embrace it. And this time of year can get heavy, and you know, be as stressful as you want it to be. But you know, it's something to be proud of. It's you're in the fight, and I think it would be silly not to try to have some fun with it.
Does this feel heavier or lighter than last year when you were in this fight?
Honestly, lighter, but just as emotional. Lighter because you know what to expect. The standards are different, the expectations are different, but understanding what contributes and what doesn't contribute. And I think the guys are doing a great job of, just focusing what's happening on the field.
Wait, the expectations are different? What is, like, did you guys not think you were going to win the World Series last year? You guys were like, oh, neat, we're just going to play baseball in the desert.
Yeah, no, expectations are a funny thing. It's, that comes along with putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And it's, I guess a standard is the better word. We know what we're capable of. We know what kind of talent we have in the clubhouse, and, nothing other than what we expect out of ourselves will do. But in the same sense, baseball is a crazy game, and a lot that's out of your control, and it can be easy to feel like you can wrangle everything into submission. So, understanding how hard the game is, and how fortunate we are to be in a situation to, have our sights on the postseason and have a real shot at it. So, just trying to balance, having fun with it, and also knowing what will bring the best version of ourselves, to the field every night.
Christian, a couple things. First of all, Kratz is a Philly homer, so when you beat them last year, broke his heart. I'm talking tears, waterworks, the whole deal, okay? Now, I'm also going to say this. The guy who just asked you the question just said not less than 5 minutes ago, the Diamondbacks aren't getting in the playoffs. So, listen, Scott and I have believed in you from day one. The guy who just asked you the question, he's like, I don't think they get in. Look at him drinking his Phillies cup, okay? So,
I didn't even see this.
Hey, guys. Okay. But no one saw you guys having the run you went on. I think you guys get in. I think you guys, once you get in, you have a great chance to make another deep run because of your pitching, because of the way you guys are doing it. But I also have to say this, and I was maybe different than everybody. He's talking about scoreboard watching and yada, yada, yada. I watched the scoreboard from the first day of the year because I always wanted to know what the teams in my division were doing, because you're like, oh, man, I'm going to start looking in June. Oh, hey, guys, we're 10 games out. We really got to go now, right? I mean, when I was in whatever division I was in, I was always like, what are the other teams doing? So I know, oh, man, they won. They're playing well. We got to go.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, I grew up just outside of Philly as well. So that was, that was a cool thing last year, being able to play in front of the hometown crowd and be in front of family. And then obviously it was sweet to be on the winning side of that. So, no hard feelings there from a former Phillies fan to a Phillies guy. But, I think, we're still baseball fans. It's, you grow up watching, you're always following the ticker at the bottom of Sports Center. You're watching the standings, and I don't think that should change just because we get the chance to play in the big leagues. We're still fans. We still love watching what happens around the league. I love, going on the app at night and watching homers and crazy plays and the celebrations. It's the whole thing. It makes it that much cooler to figure out you're playing in the big leagues and to embrace it, but then also, let the nostalgia show too, and still be a kid with the game.
Before we get to the whole Philly is better than Florida thing, you go on the app. Now, I don't know if AJ did this because he played back when he had to watch like VHSs of the night before's game, and he had to watch them on ESPN. But
true.
Do you avoid, like let's say you're going through the app and you're like, oh yeah, my ex-teammate Monty's pitching for Texas last year. Like, it says like 7 punch outs. Do you avoid his highlights so that you're not seeing punch outs? Like, I used to only watch highlights of like dingers because I'm like, I don't want to see some dude just throwing high cheese that I know I'm going to swing and miss at anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's a fine line. Love rooting for the former teammates and want all their success all the time. But yeah, it's you watch too many pitching clips, hitting looks really, really hard. And almost the other way too. It's like I'll string together a couple homer highlights and it's like, man, these guys don't get out. I'm supposed to compete with these elite hitters. All they do is hit homers.
Yeah, that's all you do though too. All right, so let's go. Let's be real. Like you're easily the most under the radar free agent signing, but we'll get to that because you said about you were just outside of Philly. Okay, Kennedy Kendricks looking for a new field. Okay, that's where you went to high school. But I have to say, now we are on cable TV, so you can't get into the entire, like before we used to be completely unfiltered. But Joe Harvey texted me because he saw you were going to be on the show. One of your teammates, Joe, pitched in the big leagues, Japan a little bit. For people who don't know, he was a reliever for the Yankees. An absolute mensch of a dude. But he said in high school, you guys got in trouble for doing something. Don't tell me what you put in the parking lot because it was inappropriate. But is that what propelled you onto your baseball career, making something out of chalk in the parking lot?
Maybe. No, that's funny. I'm glad he reached out. I miss that guy. I'm glad to get a chance to play with him, play against him, and was happy for his success for sure. Yeah, that's one of those guys. It's just easy to root for. But yeah, it's fun, man. That's a funny story. It's fun to think back and the Rugrat days of baseball before all the politics and all the stuff, and just a bunch of dudes just having fun and kind of just being idiots. And yeah, I think I miss those days sometimes for sure.
All right, so you made a male part in the parking lot. That's what it was. I should have explained more, but I shouldn't gloss over the fact that you came out of the North and played in the South, and now you live in Arizona. Just explain to everybody how much better Northern baseball is than Florida baseball.
Yeah, grinders for sure. Right? I think we put that chip on our shoulder for sure. The cold weather, the feeling like it's still wintertime in the spring. And yeah, I remember years where we couldn't practice outside before our first game of the year. Everything was inside, batting cages, gymnasiums. Like we mentioned, you're just talking about the parking lot. That's because we had to practice in the student parking lot at high school because all the fields were swamped, everything was muddy and frozen over. So finding ways like that, and I think it eventually you start to just resonate with that and take pride in that. So there's no secret that I'm a fan of the Northeast and Northeast baseball for sure.
Hey, listen, you went to South Carolina, Kratz. So he went to South Carolina. He wants to be Florida in the final, so he knows all about the Florida baseball. Okay, let's get back to the Diamondbacks though here for a second. You went out with an oblique injury. You missed over a month. How hard was it sitting there watching? Listen, the Diamondbacks did a great job. They went out and got Josh Bell, but how hard was it sitting there watching, going, man, these games I'm missing could be the difference between us making a deep run again, or even just getting into the postseason?
That's another dynamic that's really hard to navigate as a player. It's like you go from being in the fight every day, and then all of a sudden you're watching games on the couch, and you're in the mix a little bit. You're at the field for home games and stuff like that, but mostly you're watching and following from a distance, and nothing but confidence and faith in the guys. And obviously, the front office did a great job of going out and getting Josh. He was exactly what the team needed at the time, and I think it's honestly watching the success and seeing how well the offense was doing took a little bit of pressure off. There's always a sense of urgency to get back quick, and obliques are funny. You want to push it as much as you can, but I've dealt with it in the past, and that's a slippery slope too. So, honestly, watching the team, and yeah, the games mattered and they're all important, but they were playing so well that it was almost like a little bit of relief of like, no, they got it, they're good, and nothing but trust in them, and they did a great job of honestly putting us in the situation that we're in right now. It's when I came back, I felt like I was just trying to fit into something that was running on all cylinders, and coming back off the IL feeling like you don't have to be the hero is exactly what I needed, and I think it's helpful for guys to come back and fit into a successful lineup.
Dude, you're gonna be a free agent. You're gonna be a big league free agent after this season. What is that conversation that you're having with the same guy that was stuck in Norfolk hitting 100 dingers a year and looking like you'll never really get a true shake at a spot in the big leagues?
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's humbling. It's overwhelming in the best way. Thinking back at the career and how long and how much emotion has gone into this, and how much sacrifice out of not just me but my family. My wife following me around all those years and just sticking with it. It's fun. It's another thing that, depending on how you look at it and the politics of it, it could be stressful and feeling like there's so much out of your control, but also maybe you're in a spot to make a decision for the first time in a long time. And Another situation, I'm just trying to be real about it, and being 33, it's like, who knows how many times you're going to get to be in a spot like this, and really just wanting to have fun with it and have nothing but good feelings with it. And obviously proud of myself, but proud and thankful for the people around me that have supported me up until this point.
All right, so your guy pitching tonight, Jordan Montgomery, we just mentioned you're a free agent. Before I get into why you absolutely own the Dodgers, have you talked to Monty about free agency and what his role was like? Because everyone goes into free agency thinking, man, this is going to be great. I can sign whatever team I want. They're all going to pay me $7 billion to go sign. And then you get in there and you're like, man, that wasn't as fun as I thought it was be. So have you talked to Monty about it at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I love getting guys' perspectives. I love all ends of the spectrum. Monty, was at the top and is, in my opinion, still one of the best pitchers in the league. Everybody grinds, everybody goes through it. It's a part of it. This game wouldn't be so good and fun, if it wasn't that hard. That the difficult is what makes the good times feel so good. And he's a great teammate. He's a great player. So I love getting his perspective on it. And in his circumstance last year, it's free agency is a hard thing to trust. It's, just when you think you have something figured out or you have an angle, the game finds a way to keep you humbled. And there's a lot of stories that turn out the other way with free agency too, where, a team finds a guy or sees something in a guy that maybe other teams didn't see, and they're willing to take a chance on a guy. That's a funny phrase, but like, they're willing to invest in a guy, and maybe they see something, they see the value that other teams are unsure of. So it's when I say like it could be as stressful as you want it to be, that's that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like I can go into it thinking, oh no, I don't trust free agency, who knows what's going to happen, or you go into it saying like I never thought I'd be here, and I'm definitely not taking it for granted, but also I'm going to have fun with it one way or another. And, however it turns out, however it happens, it's going to be a good situation.
Okay, so now I got to ask about the Dodger thing. Do you own the Dodgers because they only drafted you in the 49th round out of high school? So do you still hold a grudge because they waited until the 49th round? Because if you look at your numbers, you have 25 homers this year. I think 23 of them are at Dodger Stadium, and they all came in like a 7-game span, where you were, every time you stepped up to the plate, you're like, oh, I'm going to hit one all the way out of Dodger Stadium today.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, honestly. I wish I had like some secret recipe or something for you there. That's one of those weird baseball things that I love playing there, but the energy, right? It's the lights are bright, the fans are crazy, the music is fun. It's a really good team. It's like you show up every day with a mindset of like, oh, I got to bring it tonight, and for whatever reason, it's led to some success at the plate there. But yeah, maybe deep down somewhere, it's that Northeast chip again. About getting drafted late.
All right, real quick, I have your game on Thursday in Milwaukee. I get 15 minutes with Torey Lovullo. What should I ask him? One thing.
Ooh, that's a good question. One thing I like about Torey, a bunch of things I like about Torey, but one of the things I always like picking his brain about is the people, the coaches. He goes out of his way to interact and learn from really cool people, whether it's former players for him, former teammates, other coaches, NFL coaches. Find a nugget in there of like something he's learned lately or somebody he's met lately that he's learned something from. He's a very much a growth mindset kind of guy. And I feel like he's always got something up his sleeve or some kind of motivation that he's come across recently. And I bet you there's a good story in there somewhere.
Boom. There you go. Well, also AJ will come say hi to you and give you a high five.
And also the Diamondbacks are going to be on Fox, so congratulations.
Boom. There you go. Love that. Well, Christian, this was awesome, man. Great to have you on. Once you sign too, we'll get you back, and hopefully even before that when you guys win a World Series. So great to talk to you. Really appreciate the time, and we'll catch you soon, okay?
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Christian Walker from the Diamondbacks. Great combo. There it is. That's the sound you want to hear if you're dominating the Babbel app, which Erik Kratz sometimes does. And boom, there you go. That is the logo right there. Do a nice job. Shout out to the directors and graphics people.
It's a cool logo.
And editors behind the scene, and it is a nice logo. Kratz, would you like to respond in the language of your choice?
I'll choose English today. I didn't need the Babbel app for English, but it is actually one. If you need the Babbel app for English, it's on there. It's super applicable. My biggest thing is just how easily it applies to what you want. If you're just looking to learn new words, if you're looking to be conversational, they're not going to waste your time doing things that you're like, oh, great. Like, I already know these words. I just need to learn to enunciate these words. I need to learn to use, the different inflections and the different things that different languages have. It's super easy. You just get right on your app. You spend enough time on your phone anyway. Might as well make it educational and useful in your life.
I'll point out 2 parts. Yes, there you go. Of the Babbel app that I like, flashcards. Because I'm good at just getting vocab words down, and that helps to build the sentences for me. And also just for me, I'm using it for travel. When I go to South America, say, for example, I want to be able to throw the vocab words out and learn them via flashcards on the app. And there's a podcast you can listen to.
Donde está el baño?
In the question.
When you go to South America.
Where is the bathroom? Oh, I got to do much worse than that. I have to start going over my food allergies in another language, which really gets interesting. So anyway, that's what Babbel's for. So if you're in the FT fam, you can get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/foul. That's up to 60% off at babbel.com/FOUL. Rules and restrictions may apply. All right, so shout out to Julio Rodriguez and Adidas for sending us this limited edition cleat. Only 44 pairs of these are made available on adidas.com starting today in honor of the iconic number 44 worn by J-Rod and some all-time baseball legends. Whoa, those are Swarovski crystals right there.
First of all, let me say thank you, Adidas, for sending these to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had some swag. I don't know if I could pull these off, but today in Seattle, they're also giving out iced out shirts to the J-Rod zone that they have out there that Adidas has been doing all year for Julio.
Yep.
And so only 44 pairs of these were being sold to the public. If you can get your hands on one, I don't know. The kids say these are fire. I don't know what the next level after fire is, but I mean, they even got crystals on the little thing you pull to put your shoe on.
And he's wearing those.
He is wearing these tonight. And listen, my son, I got these from my son. I was fortunate if they sent me a pair for my son. My son looked at them yesterday. He goes, those are too nice for me to wear.
They're so pretty.
And it's like, yeah, but think how cool you'd be if you rock them. I mean, they got the zipper. Look at this. They got a zipper.
It's a showpiece. You got to get 2 if you can because it's a collector's item.
It was only 44 pairs.
Well, go grab them.
But these are
cool.
Aren't the baddest cleats I've ever seen in my life, Kratz.
They look better in person. I promise you that. These are insane.